You can look at businesses in various ways. Are they good? Are they bad? Are they efficient? Are they ethical? Are they moral? Are they profitable? Are they well managed? What does that even mean? And who decides what that really means? Who decides what they do when? Who decides what's right? Let's start by debunking something. Companies don't have to act in the best interests of shareholders, but they do have to consider the shareholders. There are other things happening in the world too, right? So what do I mean by that? There's this thing called the social contract. Here's how it works. Companies exist as part of society. Even if that society is a world-spanning one, which makes things a bit more challenging, it has to be said, it's still a part of a society. To put another way, societies let companies exist. How does that work? How does society actually let companies exist? Well, firstly, legally, by requiring the company to be registered and so on, but in lots of other ways too. For instance, if people like you stopped buying stuff from the company, then it would cease to exist, right? So there's the social contract, right? You, as a company, get to exist because society lets you in various ways, in return for you bringing something worthwhile to society. That may be jobs, it may be money, it may be a better way of doing something, it may be a mixture of those things or more. So businesses promise to be good members of society. At least that's what it is in theory. But I'll leave you to decide if in practice that's what happens all of the time. And if it isn't, I'll leave it to you to figure out what to do about it. Back in the Dark Ages, Milton Friedman came up with the Friedman Doctrine, which basically said that the social responsibility of his business is to increase its profits, and that's all. Of course, it's more complicated than that, right? So it would need to do this by employing people, which is good for society. It would need to pay these people a certain amount of money so that they can actually survive, and so on and so forth. And there are other things as well. But really, where does that get us? And where does it get us when we start thinking about companies that are multinational or multi-social or whatever you want to call it? And this is even before we start thinking about a bunch of other things like stakeholders. Stakeholders are the things that have a stake in the company. This might be the things that the company uses or needs, like people or banks, or it could be the things that the company has an effect on, like the environment, like customers, like society. So it's not just about profit, it's about stakeholders, without whom the organization ceases to exist. Anyway, here's the real thing. Don't mess it up, because Warren Buffett says so. Reputation. Behaving in a certain way enhances reputation and all the rest. And it's influenced by corporate culture from the CEO on down, which says this is how we behave and this is the right thing to do in different kinds of circumstances. More recently, things like corporate social responsibility have become big things, and how a company behaves towards its social partners and environmental partners is becoming very important. But you've got to do it right. So things like greenwashing is bad. Blue washing is bad. If you're not sure what they are, you can always look them up. Don't do those things as a company because it's not going to work out well. Year on year, the companies that do best are the companies that try their best and try to do things that are right for the society and the people and the environment and so on that they live in. So what does all this mean? You can look at companies in different ways, and businesses can make decisions in various ways. That's what ethics and corporate social responsibility and stakeholders are all about.